Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today we are diving into IEH Corporation's annual proxy statement, and let me tell you, this one has some interesting things to unpack, especially regarding how they conduct their meetings and who is running the show. It's like getting a backstage pass to how things are decided in the corporate world. So first off, this document is a proxy statement, meaning it's the official invitation and information packet for shareholders ahead of their annual meeting. IEH Corporation is the company filing this, and they're letting shareholders know all about the upcoming meeting. The big event is their 2025 annual meeting of shareholders happening on September 10th, 2025. They're calling it a hybrid meeting, which is pretty neat. This means you can go in person to their new manufacturing facility in Allentown, Pennsylvania, or you can join remotely, plus you can vote by mail, phone, or online before the meeting. They're also letting shareholders submit questions beforehand via email, which is a nice touch to make sure everyone gets heard. So what are they voting on? A few key things. First, they're electing directors to the board. They need to elect 4 Class I directors for 1-year terms and 3 Class II directors for 2-year terms. Think of it as bringing fresh faces and keeping experienced ones on the team. Next up is the say on pay vote. This is where shareholders get to give their opinion in a non-binding way on how much the top executives are being paid. It's a way for shareholders to voice their thoughts on executive pay. Then there's a vote on how often these say on pay votes should happen. Every year, every 2 years, or every 3 years. It's like asking shareholders if they want a yearly checkup on executive pay or if they prefer less frequent reviews. And finally, they're asking shareholders to approve or ratify the company's choice for their independent accounting firm for the upcoming fiscal year. This is basically a vote of confidence in the company's auditors. Now, about that hybrid meeting structure. They are holding it at their new facility in Allentown, Pennsylvania. This is a physical location, but the flexibility to join online is a big deal for accessibility. Okay, let's talk about who gets to vote. The record date is July 28th, 2025. This just means if you owned shares as of that date, you're eligible to have your say at the meeting. As of that record date, there were about 2.4 million shares of common stock out there. Each share gets 1 vote. For electing those directors, it's a plurality vote. That means the people who get the most votes win, even if it's not more than half. So if there are 7 candidates and 4 win, they just need to have the highest number of votes among the 7. For the executive compensation vote and the frequency of that vote, it needs an affirmative vote of a majority of the shares that are present either in person or by proxy. So more than half of the shares that vote have to be in favor. Ratifying the auditors also needs a majority of the votes cast. It's pretty standard for these kinds of decisions. Now, here's an important point about voting, especially if you don't hold shares directly in your name, but through a broker or bank. This is called holding shares in street name. A key change here is that if your shares are held in street name, you must give instructions to your broker or bank on how to vote for directors and on the executive compensation matters. If you don't, your shares won't be voted on those specific issues. This is a change from how things might have worked before, where brokers could sometimes vote uninstructed shares. For the auditors, your broker can still vote your shares if you don't provide instructions, but definitely not for the other key items. Let's look at the people involved. David Offerman is the chairman of the board, president and CEO. He's been with the company since 2016 and took over the top leadership roles after his father's passing in 2017. He seems to have a good grasp of the business with experience in sales, marketing and an MBA from NYU. Eric C. Hugel is nominated as a Class I director, and he's the CFO of Americraft Marine Group. Before that, he was a co-CEO and CFO of another company and has a background in finance and aerospace. He's also on the audit committee, which is important for financial oversight. Michael E. Rosenfeld, another nominee for Class I director, is a co-founder and COO of Olive Tree Holdings, a real estate investment firm. His experience in real estate finance is quite extensive, and he also has an MBA from NYU. John P. Spiesio, also a Class I nominee, has deep experience in the aerospace and defense industries from his time at Hicksville Machine Works. He's also on the board of other companies and chairs an industry group. And Brian J. Glenn, the final Class I nominee, is the Chief Investment Officer for Premier Path Wealth Partners. He also founded an investment firm and has a strong background in capital markets with a CFA designation. Looking at who owns the most stock, David Offerman holds a significant chunk, around 24.5% of the company's shares. Gail Offman holds another substantial portion, about 25%. These two seem to be the major shareholders. Then there's Zeph Capital LP with 9.6% and Intelligent Fanatics Capital Management LLC holding 5.1%. These are institutional investors. Now let's talk about the executive compensation. For the fiscal year ended March 31, 2025, David Offerman, as CEO, received a salary of $491,745 and a bonus of $50,000, bringing his total compensation to $683,245. Subrata Pakayastha, the Chief Financial Officer, earned a salary of $250,000 with a $30,000 bonus, totaling $321,700. She was promoted to CFO in late 2023 and has a CPA designation. It's interesting to see the option awards. David Offerman received $141,500 in option awards in 2025, and Subrata Pakayastha got $41,700 in option awards in the same year. These are grants of the right to buy company stock at a certain price, and they align the executive's interests with the shareholders. Looking at outstanding equity awards as of July 31, 2025, David Offerman has options for 25,000 shares, plus another 25,000 shares, plus another 25,000. Subrata Pakayastha has options for 15,000 shares, plus another 25,000 and another 10,000. These are significant holdings and show the company is definitely using equity to incentivize its leadership. On the auditor front, the fees paid to CBIZ CPAs PC were $372,045 and $36,000 in 2024 for audit fees. They also paid a smaller amount for tax services, which seems reasonable. Back to the say on pay frequency. The board is recommending an annual vote. Their reasoning is that it allows for more direct shareholder input and aligns with their yearly review of compensation. This is generally seen as good corporate governance. When you look at all the executive officers and directors together, they own about 28.1% of the company. This is a pretty significant percentage, suggesting a strong alignment between management and ownership. Regarding related party transactions, it seems like they haven't had any major ones outside of standard executive compensation or director relationships, which is good. They also state that most of their directors are considered independent, which is crucial for good corporate governance. Now let's put on our Warren Buffett hat and think about what this all means. IEH Corporation is holding its annual meeting with a hybrid format, which is forward-thinking for accessibility. The slate of nominees for directors looks solid. With a mix of industry experience and financial acumen, David Offerman as CEO has a significant ownership stake, which is usually a good sign that management's interests are aligned with shareholders. The company's executive compensation structure, including option awards, seems designed to incentivize performance, and the decision to recommend annual say-on-pay votes is a positive governance move. However, we don't have a lot of detailed financial performance numbers in this specific filing as it's focused on the meeting and governance. We'd need to look at their other filings like the 10K to get a clearer picture of the company's financial health and how its strategy is translating into results. But based on this proxy statement, the company seems to be operating with good transparency and a focus on shareholder engagement. Alright, that's our breakdown of IEH Corporation's proxy statement. What's your take on these corporate governance decisions and director nominations? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives into corporate filings. Don't forget to check out the Discord server linked in the description for more discussions and insights. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time on Corporate Decoder.